Hi, it's Paul here from selfhelpforlife.com, and in this video I'm going to talk about 7 great ways to reduce anxiety symptoms. Now, anxiety symptoms such as negative thoughts, fears and worries dominate many people's lives, and they have a negative effect on both your mental health and your physical health, and it's much harder to be successful, happy and fulfilled when you regularly feel anxious. Now, anxiety often comes from worrying about uncertain situations. It's that fear that something bad might happen, and this fuels fear and anxiety. And I believe that the opposite of anxiety is confidence. If you really believe that you can handle the situation or the person to the best of your ability, then you can reduce those anxious thoughts and feelings. So to help you, here are my 7 effective ways to reduce the symptoms of anxiety. So number 1, change your perception of the future. Now, anxiety symptoms arise from thinking, or more likely imagining, that a future event or situation will go badly. You imagine messing up a speech or upsetting someone you love. And you probably know the saying that 90% of what you worry about never happens, and that is so true when you experience anxiety. So instead, imagine how you want the future event to go and make that future situation believable. So rather than imagining it going terribly, just imagine it going okay. It doesn't have to be brilliant, but just imagine it going okay, just reasonably well. That is enough to neutralize those feelings of anxiety. Just having a neutral future perception is enough to do that. So the second way to reduce anxiety symptoms is by embracing uncertainty. Now, we live in an uncertain and rapidly changing world, and this can be a good or a bad thing. It's all about your perception, really. Now, imagine what it would be like if every day was exactly the same. Imagine how boring that would get if every day was exactly the same and completely predictable. What about going to a football match where you know exactly what the result is going to be? You know exactly when the goals are going to be scored. That just wouldn't be very interesting. What about gambling if you knew you were going to win or lose? So the uncertainty in life is what makes life exciting, fun, interesting, fulfilling and meaningful. So we need to be able to embrace change and become more comfortable with uncertainty, and also to have the faith and confidence that whatever happens will be okay. So the third way is answering what if questions. So anxiety symptoms come from creating but not answering what if questions. So an example, what if I mess up in a job interview? That's a good example of a what if question. So what you do is you take a deep breath in and then you write down all the answers to that question. So these could include, well, the interviewer will realize that I really want this job. The interviewer will smile and realize that I'm human and authentic. It could be that even if I mess up all my words, I'm still a good person, I'm still a worthy person, and I will still get a job soon. Whatever it is. But by answering those questions, your brain will be satisfied with the answers. And when it's satisfied, it doesn't need to bring up those what if questions again. Now, the fourth way is to have confidence, trust and faith. As I mentioned earlier, I believe that confidence is the opposite of anxiety. And confidence comes from believing that you will get a positive outcome and that you have the skills and abilities to give it your best shot. Now, if you're a religious or spiritual person, thinking of a higher power and how that can guide you to a successful outcome can really help. And that can also help you letting go of the how, so you can just focus on the what as well. And if you're not really religious or spiritual, just trusting your unconscious, just trusting yourself that you will find the way can help as well. And think back about situations that have gone well in the past. That can help as well, because if you think of everything that's happened in the past, most of it has gone okay. It's very rare that something goes really, really badly wrong. Okay, the fifth way is to chunk down or look at breaking it into smaller steps. So anxiety symptoms often arise by thinking about the negative outcome and not thinking about the steps. This is often known as globalization or global thinking. So here are some examples. I'll never get this report finished on time. I know my mother-in-law won't like me. Or I'm never going to lose this weight. Now, when you notice thoughts like these, getting really specific can really help. So for example, what do I need to do exactly to complete this report on time? Or what things can I do to increase the chances of my mother-in-law liking me? Or what things can I do this week to start losing weight? This helps you focus on the steps and also focus on what you can do. The next one, number 6, is to decide which voice or feeling to listen to. So your internal dialogue, that self-talk going on in your head, and your feelings can lie. And with 60,000 thoughts a day, it's impossible to pay attention to most of them anyway. You'd go mad if you tried to do that. And there may even be some thoughts that you have that would get you into trouble if you did pay attention to them or actually acted on them. And that's normal, and that's part of being human. So it's extremely difficult to prevent negative thoughts from coming up, but it is very possible to begin to ignore any thoughts that don't serve you. And by doing this, you give less meaning to those thoughts, less emotion to them, and those thoughts will become then less and less as time goes on. And the same goes with feelings as well. It's often a lot easier to notice your feelings than your thoughts, but if you can choose which feelings to pay attention to and which to ignore, and then you can begin to let go of the negative feelings that you don't want in your life, and that removes the emotional charge, and that also helps you reduce your anxiety symptoms. So the 7th and final way is to not overthink things. So when you think too much about a problem in your life, this tends to fuel anxiety symptoms. Now, the thoughts don't need to necessarily be negative. They can be just those day-to-day thoughts about how you're going to fix or solve the problem. But when you think about something too much, it does tend to increase your anxiety feelings. So a good solution is to set aside a specific time to think about how you're going to solve this issue. And when you're using that time, I also suggest you work on changing your perception about that problem or issue, and also answering any what-if questions that come up at the same time. So I'm confident that if you apply some or all of the above 7 strategies, that you will see a big reduction in anxiety symptoms. What would it be like to then experience more real happiness, peace, and joy? So if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and do leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. And do subscribe to the Self-Help for Life channel to receive future videos like this one. And do click the bell icon as well, so you will be notified whenever I release a future video. And do check out my website as well, which is selfhelpforlife.com. On there you will see the written articles that accompany all these videos. Also links to my podcast and social media as well. So do head over there and check it out. So thank you again for watching this video, and I look forward to sharing more great content with you very soon. Bye for now.